Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. It should be a fun one because over on my Instagram and on my community tab, I asked you guys if you had some assumptions about me, and so today we're gonna get ready together and I'm gonna be answering your assumptions. If you are new here, interesting first video to jump in on, but hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup, so if you'd like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam, but why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, I zoomed you in, and before we start in on the assumptions, I'm gonna add everything in the description bar that I'm using, but I did already go in and prime with my Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops, and I went and did my eyebrows because those take me a long time, and I didn't think I could do them on camera, so we did them off camera. I'm pulling up my phone for the first assumption. There were so many good ones. Thank you to everybody who jumped in and left an assumption for me. Okay, I thought this one was interesting, so we'll start with this one. You're an only child. Now, I thought this was interesting, and when I saw this, I thought, what would make someone feel like I was an only child? Like, what kind of vibe was I giving off on camera? And one thing I thought is perhaps because I don't talk about any siblings, that maybe I gave off the vibe of not having any. So this is actually not true. I am not an only child, but I don't live by my siblings, so you know, like, you're not gonna hear me saying like, oh, I'm going to the store with my sister, or my brother's coming over for dinner tonight. I actually have a lot of siblings. So I have two biologically, an older brother and an older sister, and then when I was 9, for my 10th birthday, he was there. When I was 9, my mom met my stepdad. They actually just separated last year, but he had 4 kids. So my mom had 3 kids, my stepdad had 4 kids, so there were 7 of us, and I am the youngest biologically, but I am the 5th down the line in all of the siblings. So my older sister is 7 years older than me. She lives in Georgia, and she's married and has a son. My nephew is 11. I think he just turned 11 in November, which is absolutely insane to me. But yes, so we were a lot closer when I was younger. Since we've gotten older, it's just, you know, it can be hard to maintain like relationships when you're so far apart. But I mean, my sister and I are pretty close. We talk a lot, like texting or on social media. We don't really have the kind of relationship where we'll just like call each other up and chat on the phone. Neither one of us are big like phone talkers, so we just kind of keep up with each other that way through social media and chatting via text, but we don't get to see each other a lot because she's in Georgia and I'm in Texas. And then my other sibling biologically is my brother, who's 5 years older than me, and he actually lives in Texas, but he lives in West Texas, so it literally is, it's like a 7.5 to 8 hour drive to get from my place in Houston to where he lives. So I do get to see him the most out of any of my siblings since we're in the same state. We'll do a lot of like getting together in San Antonio, which is like the halfway point for us. So we do that a lot, getting together in San Antonio. For holidays, we will try to get together, but you know, it's hard with that drive. And he has 3 boys. His oldest is 16. He'll be 17 in May. And then he has twin boys who will be 11 in April. I almost said August, in April. So Brielle loves getting together with her boys, with her cousins. So we do try to get together several times a year. like I said, I see him the most, and I would say we see each other maybe 3 or 4 times a year. I haven't seen him yet in 2022. When did we last get together? I can't remember, but we got together recently in San Antonio. August? I think it was in August, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in August. We met up in San Antonio. Brielle got to be with the boys. Maybe it was later than August. No, it was November. I was like, the boys had homework. No, it was November. So we saw them in the beginning of November. We got together in San Antonio. Brielle got to hang out with her cousins. It was a great time. And then my step siblings, 2 of them, the oldest and the youngest, live in Michigan, which is where I'm from. So the oldest boy is the same age as my brother, 5 years older than me, and he has 2 boys. So my nephews are, one of them just turned 15 and the other one's 17. And then my younger stepsister also lives in Michigan, and my niece Zarin, she watches my YouTube videos. Her birthday's in April as well. She is, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be 9 this year. She's in 3rd grade, I think. And then I have a stepbrother who's 10 months younger than me. He lives in Florida, no kids. And then I also have a stepbrother who is 2 years older than me, and he lives abroad. He loves being abroad. He worked abroad for a long time, and so we don't really all get together, like all 7 of us. It's just kind of like sporadic. So I saw my older stepbrother and my younger stepsister in August when I was in Michigan. I haven't seen my other 2 stepbrothers in a while. I'm kind of having some breakouts, so I'm gonna add a little bit more foundation. But yeah, big family, big family. So I just thought it was funny seeing like, you're an only child. But so that's why I was like, what would make someone think that? But definitely I could see, because I don't get to see them a lot. So I don't get to talk about them. And that really stinks. I do wish I got to see them more. We actually talked about trying to get all of the kids together, because all of our kids have not all been together at one time. So we talked about trying to, like, maybe in the summer, like rent a house somewhere, like a beach house, and get everybody together and get the kids together, because we think that would be super fun. So hopefully that can happen. Okay, so I had 2 relating to teaching. One said, I assume you are a primary teacher because you have the voice. That is correct. I am a primary teacher. I have taught 2nd and 3rd grades. 3rd grade is where I've spent the majority of my time. That's where I am now. 3rd grade, I would say, is my favorite grade. But yes, I am a primary teacher. And the other one relating to teaching was, you want to stay teaching and not become a principal one day. This is accurate. This is accurate. So I put myself through school, and I had a ton of student loan debt. I went to Central Michigan University, and super expensive going through school when you have no clue what you're doing. So that's part of why I feel like I'll never go back for my master's. I don't have to in Texas. I don't know how it is in other states, but here in Texas, you don't have to have a master's to be a classroom teacher. So I do not ever plan on going back for my master's. Now, my husband is also in education. That's not what he went for. He went for like construction management and just kind of fell into teaching. But he actually went back for his master's and is now an assistant principal. But I have no desire, if randomly one day I were to go back for anything, it would be for counseling, but definitely no desire to be an administrator, to be a principal, to be an assistant principal. We have, in my district, we have these positions called peer facilitators, and it's a teacher coach. So you do still work with kids at my school and get to do stuff like small group with the kids, but you're basically like a coach to the teachers. You help with lesson planning and looking at data and stuff like that. I could see myself doing that for a period of time, but I mean, really, my desire has always been to be in the classroom. You know, you talk to some people and like they do have aspirations of working their way up. But like when I think about where I want to be and like retiring and stuff, like I plan on retiring as a classroom teacher. So super accurate. I did just powder underneath my eyes and my forehead using my Laura Mercier translucent powder, but that's not fun to watch, so we will just skip over that part. Do you guys normally do your eyes first or your face first? It kind of depends with me. Lately, I've been doing my face first. So I was like, ooh, do I do eyes next? Do I do face? Eyes, face? I think we're gonna go with face first. Okay, so I had 2 assumptions about high school. One of them is your husband was your high school sweetheart. Now, I actually feel like I've gotten that question or assumption before when I filmed like a Q&A. He actually is not. No. Thank goodness I did not end up with the boyfriend I had in high school. But my husband and I met in college. I don't know. I mean, I've talked about how I find myself trying to like figure out where people are getting these assumptions from. I'm not offended by anything, but I just think it's funny. So I'm like, what would make someone think he was my high school sweetheart? But I guess perhaps because I've talked about how we're both from Michigan and that we moved to Texas together. So people are probably like, oh, okay, maybe y'all went to high school together. No, we met in college. We actually are from opposite sides of the state. He is from the Grand Rapids area, and I am from the Metro Detroit area. So, nope, not high school sweethearts. Definitely met in college, and if we went to the same high school, I don't think we would have been friends. He says all the time, yes, we would have, but I don't think we would have because he was kind of a jock, you know, football, super popular, liked by everybody, and that wasn't me in high school. I had a lot of different friends in different categories, but like I was in theater, so I had theater friends. I was not in band, but I had some friends in the band, so I would hang out with them sometimes. I had a couple friends from my neighborhood, so I just don't think him and I would have vibed in high school. The other high school question, or assumption I should say, was I assume you were somewhat of a goody two-shoes in high school. Accurate. I was. So I have always been someone who doesn't like other people being mad at me. So like just the thought in high school, the thought alone of getting in trouble would be like enough to scare me out of doing things. So never had detention. Don't remember ever being sent to the principal's office. Definitely was never suspended. Oh, get this. I was telling this story the other day. Okay, so when you were a senior in high school at my school, you could have a parking permit and you could drive your car to school and park in the lot. It was only for seniors, right? So when I was a senior, I was in this co-op program where we went to an elementary school and helped out there for a couple hours a day. We would be bussed over and bussed back. And me and 2 of my girlfriends were in this program together. And ironically, neither one of them ended up becoming teachers, just me. But anyway, so we're in this program, and it was, oh gosh, maybe it was right after lunch. Anyway, our school store used to have these Otis Spunkenmeyer cookies, and they would make them fresh and hot, and they were $1, and they were so good. So one day, me and my girlfriends are waiting before we're supposed to go to co-op. We were waiting for these cookies, and we ended up missing the co-op bus. So instead of skipping co-op, doing whatever we wanted, I was like, hey, I can drive us to the elementary school. It was literally, by the way, Bronzer 1, Bronzer 2. It was literally around the corner. So I'm like, oh, I'll just drive us. So we literally drive to the co-op, do everything we're supposed to do there, and when it's time to leave, we drive back. No big deal, right? So then, I don't remember exactly how I was told. I don't know if I was like called down to the office or if there was a letter or they called my parents or what, but they had cameras in the parking lot. So they had a video footage of us leaving, and they took my parking pass away. They were like, you left campus, you're not allowed to leave campus. And I told them, I said, literally, I drove to the co-op. Like, you can check, they take attendance there. Like, we were there. We just missed the bus. Like, I just wanted to get us there. And they were like, no, if that happens, you come to the office and you tell us, and we could have someone take you over there on a golf cart. And I was like, what? So I literally, that was the biggest time that I got in trouble, was driving myself to my co-op, and I lost my parking pass for a month, and my 2 friends that were with me took turns like alternating picking me up for school in the morning and driving me home. But that was the only time I got in trouble. Also, senior year, I had never skipped school, I had never skipped class, I had never skipped anything. And so one day, I remember like telling my mom like, oh, I've never skipped or done anything. And my mom was like, my mom was a goody two shoes also, and she was like, I mean, even I skipped school one day. And then she got scared of my grandpa and ended up driving back to school. But she was like, even I skipped school. So I thought I was gonna be rebellious, and I went to lunch twice. I think I skipped my history class, and I probably even told my mom ahead of time. I probably said like, oh, I'm gonna skip class today, because every hour they would take attendance, and if you were absent, they would call your parents. So I think I even told my mom ahead of time. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna skip today. And I went to lunch twice. And then on senior skip day, we had a senior skip day where it was like, you did skip. A lot of people, because where I lived in Michigan, you could go to this place in Ohio called Cedar Point, and a lot of people went to Cedar Point. But actually, my school, I need a brush that's a little more dense. Hold on. Okay, my school held a carnival for the seniors on the campus for senior skip day, and that's where I went. So yeah, accurate. Didn't drink, didn't do drugs, didn't do any of that. Nope. I was definitely a goody two shoes. Now college, that was a different story. I was still good. I've always been a goody goody, but I actually lived a little and experienced the college life. But high school, no, for sure goody goody. I thought this one was fun. You are a homebody. I would say that's false. I feel like a lot of times, not a lot of times, I feel like sometimes like people that I've watched on YouTube, they'll say like, oh, you know, I love YouTube, but you know, I'm really shy in real life, and you know, kind of a homebody, and so they find this outlet of YouTube. That's not me. No, I'm not. I'm not shy. I think I'm actually a pretty outgoing person, and I'm very social, which is very opposite of my husband. He gets along with everybody. Like you could put him in any room in the middle of anywhere, and he will talk to everybody and get along with everybody, but he prefers his downtime, his alone time, being by himself, and I am social. You know, they say some personality types, they feel drained by social activities and they get recharged when they are by themselves. I'm the opposite. If I spend too much time by myself, that's draining to me. I don't like that. I much prefer to be social. Now, of course, this point in my life, this space that I'm in right now, being a mom of a little one and working and all of that, like I am home more than I'm not, but I do really love being social and getting together with friends. In case I didn't show that blush, it was MAC Mocha. And for the highlighter, we are going to do Natasha Denona Super Glow in Fair. The next one is you wear makeup every day. I do not. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. For people that do, sometimes I wish I was motivated to wear makeup more because I have so much. And I was just telling Smegs the other day, she was telling me that she's almost finished with her Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. And I'm like, she pans stuff all the time. She finishes stuff all the time. She'll finish foundations, everything. And I'm like, how do you do it? Because she has a lot of makeup too. She's a makeup junkie as well. She loves YouTube and purchasing makeup and all of the things. And she finishes stuff up and she's like, Kelly, I wear my makeup. But I would say that I wear makeup most days. I currently have a filming schedule where I film on Saturdays, although I'm filming this video on Sunday because I already filmed a bunch of videos yesterday, but I film on Saturdays and I edit and stuff on Sundays, and so typically on Sunday I'm not wearing makeup, and then usually during the week, I would say on average 4 times during the week I wear makeup. Usually there's one day that I'm not, but on days where I'm being super lazy, I mean there can be multiple days where I don't wear makeup. Like there were times over Christmas break I only wore makeup when I filmed. So definitely not true. Love makeup, love everything about it, but I don't wear it every day. You are a very organized person and are always on time. Yes. Yes. I do not like being late. It actually gives me a lot of anxiety. I do have generalized anxiety disorder. I am not medicated for it. And being late gives me a lot of anxiety. Late to anything. I don't like walking in a room if I was supposed to already be there. And the funny thing is, my partner teacher, so I'm departmentalized, so I teach math, and then my partner teacher teaches the ELA section. We're actually doing a four-way switch this year, so I teach only math, but in the past it would be like math, science, and social studies. And my partner teacher does the ELA version, or the ELA side, and she's like late all the time. Like she's chronically late, and I am chronically early. I definitely get that from my mom. My mom is always early to everything. My brother is like that. My sister, not so much. My dad, he has passed away, my biological dad, but when he was around, I don't think he was a super early person. I think he was probably late more than he was early, and I feel like my sister's like that. I'm using this this vanilla bean shade right here from Makeup Geek. I wanted to use my products from my Project 10 uses. So that's what I'm using here, most of the products, and I threw Makeup Geek in there. So that's what we're using today. But yeah, no, I'm definitely like my mom. We are early all the time. My mom lives with us now, but when she didn't live with us, we were meeting up to get our nails done one time, and I think we were gonna meet up at like 10 or something, and I got there at 9:45 thinking I was early, and I walk in and my mom's like, oh hey, she was like already there. So I get it from her. I don't really know what I wanna do for eyes, but I think I wanna use one of my Cleona singles. So this should be fun, something simple and fun. You want to be a stay-at-home mom? No, I don't. So there are definitely, being a working mom, I mean, I do suffer from mom guilt and feeling like I should be home with her, and, you know, wanting to be with my daughter all the time. Going back to work was a very hard decision for me, but I mean, I have friends who are stay-at-home moms, and that's a very hard job. Teaching is hard. What I do is hard. Being a working mom is difficult because you definitely do struggle with some guilt from being away, but I feel like I would not be a good stay-at-home mom. You know, you're just on all the time. You have to cook and clean and take care of the kids, and you just don't really get a break, you know? Whereas on days when I go to work, I have an actual lunch break where I sit down for 30 minutes and I eat my lunch. Let me tell you when I don't get a break. When I'm at home eating dinner with my kid. My mom made a joke because she was like, yeah, moms always eat cold food and you always eat last. Yes, that is true. When you have young kids like I do, you're always eating last. You're always, by the way, I'm using this shade right here. I'll list the shades that I use because I don't know. They're on the back. But yeah, no, that's a very hard job. I do have a couple friends that I know that are stay-at-home moms, and it's just, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. So I am very lucky. My mom watches my daughter for me, so that helps out a lot. I honestly I was in I'm gonna go in with this one, such a rough space mentally when I went back to work when my daughter was 16 weeks old, that I really don't know. If I didn't have my mom, I might have become a stay-at-home mom for a period of time, but it never would have been a long-term thing because it definitely was like hard to leave her. But knowing that I have my mom and that she's just home with her, I mean, that helps out a lot. But honestly, I mean, going to work is not a break. Like you're doing a lot of stuff, but like I do get breaks when I go to work. You know, I get a break in the car driving to and from work, and I get a break, like I said, lunch. I get a 30-minute lunch break, and we do have a conference period, and you know, sometimes I stay after to get some work done, and all of those are like little mini breaks. And so I feel like I need that. But also being a teacher, you know, I have every holiday off with my daughter. I have every summer off with my daughter. So I try to not let myself feel so bad in that sense, because like I am here for her. I'm home with her. And I mean, she's with my mom. So who better to take care of her than my mom? Although we are going to be, she'll be 3 in April. She's in a program twice a week where she gets to like play with friends from church. It's like a little Mother's Day Out program, but we are hoping to enroll her in something full-time, like a 3-year-old pre-K next year, because she really loves school. But yep, no desire here to be a stay-at-home mom. Too hard. Okay, so part of me is wanting to stick with neutrals and put this on the lid, and then the other part is like, do the purple, do the purple. I think we're gonna do the purple. Okay, I definitely sprayed my brush for this one, so hoping minimal fallout. We're gonna press instead of swipe. Look how pretty this shade is. I don't think I've ever worn it. Purple is my favorite color. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad we went with the purple. Can y'all see how pretty this is? Look at that. Oh my gosh, why have I never worn this? It is so pretty. Wow. Okay, so the last assumption is, I assume you've always had very long hair. That's correct for the most part. My hair, I know I keep it up a lot. It's just because I'm super lazy. It's how I wear my hair all the time. But yes, the only time my hair was a little bit quote unquote shorter was there were a couple years, maybe in middle school, junior high, where I had shoulder length, like just below my shoulders, which is still maybe like medium length. Not the longest. Right now, it's well down my back, probably almost at my butt, I'd have to say. And yeah, it's been long the majority of my life. I've never desired to have short hair, and one secret to having long hair, I mean, like when you do have long hair, is like I can get away with not doing it. You know, like I can throw it up in a ponytail or a bun, whereas when you have shorter hair, you have to do your hair all the time. You can't ever just throw it up and call it good. Y'all, this shade is so pretty. I maybe would have done a more mauve crease. Like I could have done this mauve, but I just wasn't thinking, but this is so pretty. Okay, that was the last question, so I'm going to finish up my makeup real quick, and we will be right back to round out the video. Okay, so on the lips, I do have my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the shade Iconic Nude. And I don't know that this lip choice is the best lip choice with this eye, but it's in my Project 10 uses, so I wanted to use it. It's the Velvet Muse by Lisa Eldridge. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all of the Makeup Geek shades that I used, because if I don't tell you now, I'm going to forget. So give me a chance to pull them all out. The first crease shade I used was Beach Please. On the inner corner, I have Starry Eyed, which is a foil, and I have been setting my brow bone with, I showed you the back, Vanilla Bean. So those came from this palette. And then in here, the crease shade that I used, I think it was Tiki Hut. Yes, Tiki Hut, which is a warm brown. And the Cleona shade that I used was Royalty. And I've got to say, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Royalty. I can't believe I haven't used these shades more. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you out and wrap up the video. Okay, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me. Thank you to everyone who sent in assumptions. Those were super fun. I just thought, you know, I was in the mood for something casual. I've seen these assumption videos going around. I'm nosy. I want to know about other people's lives. So now you know a little bit more about mine. But I am sweating, so I want to take this sweater off. I need to finish washing the sheets, and that's going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.